My name is Colleen, and today I'm going to show you how to make a card just with a doodle. Today's doodle, we're just going to do a very simple little bird. So very stylized, but just also to show you how quickly you can actually create it. I'm working on a piece of white paper to begin with, just so that you can see what I'm doing, because on a card side itself, it's actually a little bit small for being visually easy to see. So very, very simple, just little curved lines I'm using. I'm creating some patterns now, having drawn a wing, little scallops, and I think I'll just do a loop in the center with maybe a dot. I want to create some feathers for his tail, so starting at the outside edge, I'm going to do, I think, 5 little feathers there. So I've done a little semicircle like this for an eye, made a little beak and some little legs. Very simple little music notes, because maybe he's a birthday card and you want to send a message to somebody, that's also can be added. So having now done my basic drawing, I'm going to move this aside and show you that I've done this already on a piece of card, and I've just started to use some colored pencils to be able to color them in. Very easy, quick card to do if you're actually going to go to a birthday party and you want some thing to be able to give to the birthday person. Just use your pencil colors just to color in the areas. Don't worry about whether you go over the lines a little bit. It's not serious, and pencil crayon colors are fantastic because they will normally blend together in any case. So if your coloring skills aren't great, that's not a problem at all. And then just start adding in more and more color to your card. I must say I love color, and the brighter the colors for me, the better. But this would also look really well if you were to do it in muted tones. So you could choose a range of colors like earth tones, or perhaps you might want to use something just like a series of colors, like all the reds and the oranges, or just greens. That would be absolutely fine. So just using colored pencils, coloring them in. You could do these very lightly, or you could do them very darkly. And you can see on the outside here, I've done the outline a little bit heavier so that it actually just edges it nicely. You know, when you've painted a picture and you want to have it framed, they put a board around the edge before it goes into the frame, and that's called a mount board. And that just gives it a little bit of depth to your design. And you will see that that's okay. So you can see here where the green and the blue mixed, it doesn't really show once you put the blue on. Funny thing about color is whichever color you put on top will be the more dominant. So even though I did have a little bit of green on that line, putting the blue over the top reads as blue rather than actually as the green. Okay, so there we go. That's pretty straightforward. Now I'm going to start just doing some of these little tail feathers. Coloring them in. I'm sticking within the same color palette that I have used in the bird. I don't want this to be too wild with color. The design's not really big enough to be able to hold it, but if your design was bigger, you would be able to do that quite easily. Okay, and you can see I'm not spending too much time coloring here, although obviously with the time that you would have doing this at home, you could do this however you pleased. The yellow adds a nice pop of color to the actual design. So you can see I actually am trying to spread the yellow a little bit, just so that it gives what we would call the highlight color to the actual image that we're doing. Okay, there we go, nearly done, and this didn't take long at all. Great. So in order to be able to stick this down onto a piece of card, I need some double-sided tape. And double-sided tape is actually a very, very thin tape, which is sticky on both sides. If you don't know this, it is the most wonderful tape to have around. So I'm going to just put a few pieces of this on the back of the card in order to be able to stick it down nicely. There we go. And in order to be able to lift this up off the card, I'm going to use just my craft knife. So I'm going to just set this one aside. I have prepared here a piece of recycled card, which I've folded in half. I'm going to set the image that I've done, my little bird, as what we call landscape. This would be portrait, like that, and this will be landscape. And now I'm going to stick it down. The double-sided tape, because it is so thin, isn't always that easy to lift up. So I'm going to use my craft knife blade just to lift it up. And if it doesn't come easily, just rub it down and you find that you should be able to get it up easily. It's probably reflecting a little bit in the light now. But the lovely thing about this is that because the tape itself is so thin, it's not going to represent as a little bulge or anything under your card. You'll hardly even know that it's there. And it's a lot less messy than working with liquid glues. Finding liquid glues often themselves tend to make cards buckle. So we've got our little card, we've got our double-sided tape on, and we just now need to center this a little bit. Get it in position as we would like it, and rub it down. And there you have it, your little doodle cards, done in just a few minutes, basic supplies at home, and really very easy for anybody to be able to make. I hope you've enjoyed this, and you will find if you look on my channel that there are some other examples of doodle cards. So please join us and leave comments below. I'd love to hear from you.